Today we're sailing to a unique lighthouse. It was originally created as part of a project to resist the threat of German submarines in World War One. A project that cost millions of pounds and was so secret that even the men building it didn't know what it was for, and called the results the Mystery Towers. It's a fascinating story, I'm sure you'll be intrigued. It's just after Easter and we're just leaving Portsmouth Harbour. The weather is fair with a light breeze, and today we thought it would be nice to sail to visit the Nab Tower. The Nab Rock lies to the east of the Isle of Wight, and though it doesn't break the surface, in strong tides and winds the seas over it are a hazard to ships entering the Solent from the south and the east. Ships really need to keep clear and well to the east and north of it. Today this is the recommended route. Such was the danger as shipping into the Solent increased that Trinity House stationed a light vessel off the eastern end of the Nab Rock as long ago as 1812. We're making our way towards the Nab Tower. A cup of tea and a hot pasty is always very welcome, and as we slowly leave the Solent the wind is behind us, so it gives me a chance to try out the lightweight booming out pole that I made over the winter. It holds out the Genoa well, so we can sail wing on wing. After 100 or so years on station, the lightship was coming to the end of its life and needed replacing. But at this time the First World War was in full swing, and German submarines were a real danger to shipping in the English Channel, and the Admiralty were actively looking for a solution. We're gradually getting there. I can just see the Nab Tower in the distance. I guess we'll be an hour or so yet before we actually arrive. The autopilot is keeping Zephyr 4 on course, and Bill is keeping a good lookout, so I'm not really needed. I think I'll have a go at this new tune I'm learning. To solve the problem of the German submarines, Sir Alexander Gibb of the British Admiralty suggested that a series of towers be placed across the Straits of Dover from Folkestone to Cap Brine. Once in place, they would have steel anti-submarine nets strung between them and guns deployed on the top deck. Civil engineer Guy Maunsell was also involved with the design, and construction work by a very large force of Royal Engineers and civilians was started at Shoreham by Sea. So secret was the whole project that none of the workers knew what they were building, hence the title Mystery Towers. Well, we're doing quite well. I can just make out the little tower where the light is housed on top of the main tower, and occasionally there is white water at the base where the waves are breaking. But what's all this about Mystery Towers and the Nab? Well, work progressed on the towers. As you can see, they were monsters, made of concrete, starting with a huge broad base layer and gradually built up until they supported a tower which was clad by a network of steel girders forming walkways and ladders around the outside. They were 92 feet tall and the base spread out to 160 feet. Still, nobody outside of the Admiralty knew what they were for. The first one is reported to have cost £1 million to build. That's about £60 million in today's money, and they were intending to build 12 of them. And then World War I ended, and the armistice was signed on November the 11th, 1918. So the towers were, I guess, surplus to requirements, and nobody knew what to do with them. We're still getting there. I can see more details of the antennas and stuff on top of the tower. It's a lovely day to do this. There's a slight swell, but nothing to worry about. But I suppose you want to know more about these mystery towers. Well, the Nab lightship, remember that, was in dire need of replacing, and some bright spark suggested that one of the mystery towers in Shoreham might just be the answer. The big concrete base is constructed like a honeycomb and filled with air, so the tower would float. So on a really high tide on September the 13th, 1920, the tower floated and Trinity House managed to squeeze it out through the harbour entrance. Apparently there was only feet to spare. Then used a couple of tugs to tow the tower out to its intended resting place. Here's a rare shot of the tower and the lightship together. The seacocks on the hollow concrete base were opened, and as the honeycomb structure filled with water, the mystery tower sank to the seabed, ceased to be a mystery tower, and became the Nab Tower. As an aside, the seabed wasn't quite level, and the tower has a slight list, 3 degrees, so noticeable but not really important. But I know what you're saying, that doesn't look anything like the tower as it is today, and you're right. Over the years, the exposed steel structure rusted away and became dangerous to climb, and it was deemed unsafe to land a helicopter on the landing pad at the top. Quite recently, in 2013, the tower was substantially modified. The external girders were cut away, the height of the tower reduced from 27 metres to 17 metres, and the remaining substructure was coated in a fresh layer of concrete. It doesn't look anywhere near as imposing as the old version, but it's probably more practical for today. You can see that the tower is not quite level here. When the tower was first installed in 1920, it was manned by 3 or 4 Trinity House keepers, working in monthly shifts, and that continued until 1983, when the tower was automated, and nobody stays there now. Well, I told you it was a good story. It is a most unusual lighthouse, because most of it is out of sight, a bit like an iceberg. It's been here for over 100 years, and I guess it's good for plenty of years to come. We're on our way back to Portsmouth now, and looking back at the tower, it's amazing to think that keepers lived on there for a month at a time for so many years. Well, I hope you found it all very interesting. There is lots of information about the tower on the internet, and even some old black and white film of the tower being towed and the keepers visiting. I'll put links to those in the comments down below for you. Thanks for watching. I'd be really pleased if you subscribed, liked, shared with a friend, and why not try one of these hike things. Bye bye for now.